Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 3 of the General Life Podcast. Today's topic is going to be about happiness. That's right, we're going to dive into what the hell happiness is and how do people become happy, and also why people are not happy. So, the idea of happiness is ingrained into all of us from a very young age in Western democracies, so in Australia, in America, Canada, mostly white skinned countries. Yeah, I know Australia's it's we're in the east, but our culture is white. Okay, it's Western. Okay, it's Western culture. It's not Eastern culture. It's Western culture. Even though Australia is in the east, we're in the like you know what I mean. Okay, is considered one of the greatest ideals to pursue in our lives. The pursuit of happiness. We've seen it all in the movies by Will Smith. Pursuit of happiness. Now, the pursuit of happiness through the way how we pursue happiness in our Western democracies is most of the time buying stuff, going on vacations, having experiences, and basically having the lifestyle that you want. But it's the propaganda that they sell you. You know, it's the propaganda that they actually sell you on mainstream media, on social media. You should buy this and buy that. Go on holidays here, go on holidays over there. Get experiences. Lifestyle. Basically, they're telling you to fork out money. All this shit involves money. It's all for you guys to to enjoy, but also you have to pay for it. You have to pay for all these things. You gotta they can pay for that sushi that you're about to eat and taking photos of and putting on social media. Money, money, money. It's all about money. And vacations, yeah, you see people going on vacations and then you think to yourself, you know what? I should go on vacation too. They are so happy. They are so freaking happy. And experiences, you see one person jumping out of a plane and you think to yourself, fuck man, I should jump out of a plane too. Remember to pull that parachute. So let's move on. And the Western democracies has convinced us of all this. I already pointed that out. Okay, so Western democracies want you to find your happiness like it's a destination. It's like a destination. The end goal in itself. So what the Western democracies have done is convince all of us to think of happiness as the end goal. And we should pursue the happiness to the very end. But here's the thing: if you're chasing happiness or pursuing happiness, and happiness is constantly on the move, don't you feel like as if you're on like a treadmill? You're forever chasing happiness. Yeah, the Western democracies, they have not actually explained it properly now, have they? So for example, you will be happy when you get that dream job. You will be happy when you get that promotion. You will be happy when you make it to the very tippy top of your corporation. When you make it as a CEO. You be happy when you retire. You be happy when you find that soulmate, etc., etc. We get sold this lie in our Western democracies. They tell you that you be happy when you have that dream job. So the job that you have right now is absolutely dog shit, absolutely crap, doesn't make you fulfilled in any way. But man, you keep working at it, you'll find it eventually. You will find that dream job eventually. The corporation will help you. They'll help you find that dream job of yours. And or they can trick you in another way by saying, well, you'll be happy when you get that promotion. You work really hard. If you work really hard, you might get that promotion that you wanted. You might get that bonus. That pay packet. Just work hard, go for it. And you'd be happy when you make it to the top. Freaking, after you find that dream job, you get multiple promotions that don't mean much. No, it's not worth much in a way. Because companies make millions of dollars. They pay you $1,000. As a bonus. What's that? That's a drop in the ocean, man. That's nothing. That's not sharing the wealth. They just give you crumbs. They give you crumbs. And they also trick you to think that you'll be happy when you make it to the very tippy top. You're a CEO now. You're the boss of everyone. Yeah, like that excites everybody. Like not everybody wants to be CEOs, man. Not everybody wants to be CEOs. There are some who are very ambitious. Good on them. If you're ambitious, you go all the way to the top. But don't lie to yourself if you think that you're happy. You might be happy. You might be happy, but most of the time, if you're like a CEO or some shit like that, and you made it to the very top, there's sacrifices. You have to sacrifice a lot of time and energy, and sacrifice your children and your wife and husband. The relationships will not be the same from when you were from the bottom, and now you made it to the very top. I don't know, man. There's no guarantees in life. There's no guarantees that your kids will actually like you, because you've been away from home for so much. And I won't be surprised if your wife is banging someone else. I won't be surprised either, because you're in the office more than you're at home, and she feels lonely, some shit like that, or vice versa. The guy's probably thinking, man, my wife's not home. I'm just gonna go outside and do my business elsewhere. She ain't home anyway. Men have their needs. Yeah, and let's move on. And you'll be happy when you retire. Fuck that, man. If you retire, you might as well just give up. You might as well just die. I mean, if that's the biggest illusion of them all. I mean, do you really think that you'll be happy when you retire? In your old age, you're too weak to do the things that you want to do. You don't have the energy. So the retirement age in Australia right now is around 60 years old. Man, by 60, there's no even guarantees that you make it to 60. And even if you do make it to 60, how's your health? You might have arthritis in your elbows, fingers, in all your limbs. You might have diabetes. You might have high blood pressure. You might even get a stroke or a heart attack. You call that retirement? You call that retirement? So you can't really enjoy your retirement anyway, because you're freaking old. You're old. You're heading to your grave. That's the truth. Whether you like it or not, you're heading to your grave, man. Let me ask you this: if you were to go on vacation, let's say before you're 40, right? If you go on vacation before you're 40, which one's better? Going on vacation before you're 40, or when you're retired at 60? Who has more energy? The 30-something you or the 60-something you? Who do you think has more energy? Obviously, the younger one. You have more energy to go places. You have more energy to travel around. You're not scared of getting a heart attack, or you're not scared of running out of medication or some shit like that, because you probably don't even need medication. Man, when you're 60, you need all sorts of shit to take care of yourself. Man, you need freaking heart attack medicine, high blood pressure medicine. You know what I mean? Like you're sick. You're old. You won't have the energy to do anything that you want. Maybe you can go fishing. Even that is hard if you have arthritis in your fingers. And this part where you'll be happy when you find your soulmate. Let me tell you something. There is no such thing as a soulmate. There's only a mate. There's only a mate. I don't believe in the myth of a soulmate, because not everybody will be the same person 10 years from now, 20 years from now. People change, So the perfect person that you find when you're in your early 20s, that person might not be the same when you guys reach around, let's say, 40 years old. We're changing all the time. Circumstances change, career change, the person changes. Let me give you an example, right? If you found out that your soulmate lives in Siberia, would you still go to Siberia? No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't go to Siberia. If you know for sure that your soulmate, the person that you're supposed to be with, destined to be with, is in Siberia or some other weird ass country that you never heard of, would you go there? Of course you won't. Of course you won't. And I know some of you will actually say, well, I found my soulmate. I found my soulmate. She or he's the love of my life right now, and you're just saying that because you don't. Trust me. Trust me on this. There's no such thing as a soulmate. You probably hate them in some way. A soulmate means you're pretty much perfect for each other. Let me tell you this. We're humans. We're not perfect. Nature is not perfect. The world is not perfect. We are not perfect. So you've been sold the lie that you'd be happy when you find a soulmate. Nah. No. Your mate is a compliment to your life. They should complement your life, not be your life. that person should complement what it is that you are doing. They should not be the center of your life. But that's a different topic for another podcast. So let's just move on. So the pursuit of happiness as an ideal has created a warped perception of what true happiness really is. It leads people to hedonism. And if you guys don't know what hedonism is, it's when you seek pleasure instead of happiness. So what can happen is when you pursue happiness, that perception might warp into hedonism. You might chase pleasure instead. So you're constantly chasing that high. You're always chasing the next hit of dopamine that you usually get when you're happy. I mean, that's what happiness is. It's just hits of chemical reactions in your body, and you get dopamine hits, get a quick high. It's like being on drugs. And instead you chase happiness. You chase pleasures, through drugs, through drinking, through partying, that sort of thing. So basically, you are trapped in a perpetual cycle of doing more things, buying more things, acquiring more experiences, more shoes, bigger phones, bigger cars, fancier places to eat, more epic holidays, hotter girlfriends, hotter boyfriends, more. You're chasing more and more when you're hedonistic. You see somebody having a better car, and so you strive to get a better car than them. You're keeping up with the Joneses sort of thing. I mean, I see it on social media all the time. You see one person posting up, photos of them eating a meal. They order something which is really fancy, and then they take a photo of it, and not within a few minutes later, somebody else is posting something. Just eat the bloody thing. I mean, mind you, I do it too, but I don't do it very often. I do it when I go out, but it's only 1 or 2 photos. I don't actually bomb Instagram. I don't really do it. It's not my thing. I'd rather enjoy the moment instead of taking photos. But that's just me. That's just me. It's like being high on drugs, man. Honestly, it's like being high on drugs with more things and experiences. You grow accustomed to these highs, and eventually chasing more and more until you metaphorically overdose, and then you get withdrawals on your hedonism in the form of severe and deep satisfaction with your life. Yeah, man, I've been there. Okay, I've chased pleasures. I know what I'm talking about, and trust me, man, it's so bad because it never ends. You chase one pleasure after the other, and eventually you just get absolutely exhausted, man. You can't keep up. There's always somebody doing something more than you. There's always somebody doing more drugs than you. They're drinking more than you. They have more friends than you. They have more everything than you. So the question is, where does it stop? And the answer is, it stops with you. You have to decide when enough is absolutely enough, and this is getting absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And you decide when to stop. For me, I stopped doing drugs. Yes, I do drugs. Used to. I don't do drugs anymore. I drink a lot less. I stopped comparing myself to my friends. I try to cut out junk food. I tried. I'm still eating junk food, but I'm eating a lot less now than before. And that's just me. That's just me. But there's many ways to actually pursue happiness. It's not just through material things. You might even try to pursue your happiness through acquiring friends. I mean, even that too. Some of you might think that acquiring friends will fulfill some emptiness in your life. And so in a way, you probably don't want to be lonely. You're afraid of being alone. So what you do is you acquire a perfect social circle of like-minded people who think the same as you. They share the same hobbies, they share the same values and ideologies. You pick partners based on some flawed notion of the one, the soulmate. The world it's imperfect. It's not a perfect place. There's a lot of imperfections. Sure, the earth is round. It's perfectly round. Actually, it's not even perfectly round. I think it's a bit bulging out from the equator or some shit like that. I don't know. I need to learn more science. But the world is an imperfect place. Nothing in this world is perfect. And and so are we. We're not perfect either. There's no such thing as a perfect friend or a perfect partner. For the world is constantly changing, man. The climate is changing. Our cities are changing. Our technology is changing. Our way of living is changing. Have you noticed that no one's building houses anymore? No one's building single story houses anymore. We're actually building um, our houses and our apartments upwards. We're actually building a lot more apartments now because there's a lot more people. See, there's a lot more people. This changing. Our demographics is changing. We no longer care about the backyard. We no longer care about playing football in the backyard. So we don't value it as much. We're not the same person when we were 5 years old. We have grown taller, stronger. We have learned how to read and write. We learned how to reason and rationalize our world in different ways. We will not be the same person we are 10 years from now. That is the truth. That is the truth. When you were 6 years old, 7 years old, but like young, when you were in primary school, you probably thought girls and guys. You thought girls and guys were ew germs, girl germs, boy germs. By the time you reach high school, you'd be like, oh yes, girl germs, my ass. Girl germs, my ass. You think to yourself, oh, she's cute. Or oh man, he's cute. He's really cute. You guys know what I mean. You guys know what I mean. And to our younger viewers, who just starting high school and you listen to my podcast, most likely, why would you be typing happiness? You should be studying. Yeah, but if you are listening, you should know. Girls and guys, we're pretty cute for each other. Okay, you're gonna have feelings that you never thought that you had. That's the truth. All right, let's move on. Your friend's worldview will change as you will. They'll probably have families with children, therefore priorities will change, and they would change jobs so that they would have to move elsewhere. Your partner would change with you as you progress through life. That's true too. Your partner might leave you for someone else. You might leave them. You might start a family. They might start a family with somebody else. You might have children. You might grow up old together, or fall apart as the years go by. You might actually go your separate ways through divorce and stuff. Change is constant. Therefore, we can only make do with the relationships that we have right now. Right? We have to accept the fact that we're all experiencing different experiences in this game called life, and we have to make peace with that. So we cannot be happy pursuing things and experiences. We cannot be happy acquiring friends. So how do you find happiness? Well, that's the unanswerable question of a lifetime, isn't it? I mean, greater minds have tried and failed. So for us to even try is a waste of time and energy, but it is. I mean, greater minds have tried. I mean, there are smarter people who have tried. Smarter people than you and I. And they failed. Greater minds have tried and failed, so for us to even try is a waste of time. Happiness is a feeling, though. When happiness is there, we all know what it feels like. You experience happiness by way of doing something along the way towards something else. Your goals. It's not the destination that makes you happy. It's the journey along the way, per se, right? That's what I think happiness is you enjoy the process. It's not the end goal. It's the process. It's you striving for that goal. It's the little steps that you take along the way towards your destination. It's like I'll give you an example. Right? I'll give you an example. Let's say you just passed your driving test and now you're free to drive anywhere your heart desires. That freedom was not there before. Before, your parents or your friends had to drive you everywhere, but now you have your license. Aha! Now you can do shit. You can go places, mate. You can go places without asking for people's permission. All you need now is a car, and that's it. So you decide to go to McDonald's. Simplistic in itself. Am I right? Simplistic, but it is exciting, isn't it? Going to Macca's when you have your freaking license. That's like the rite of passage. You gotta go to Macca's. Oh no, but oh no. But you're not going alone. You're not going alone, mate. So you call up your buddies and inform them that you've passed your your driving test, and now you have a car, and you ask them if they want to accompany you to McDonald's. Mates being mates, they'll say hell yes. And so And so you proceed to pick them all up in your 1999 Toyota Corolla, and you beeline straight to McDonald's. Your mates, like your mates be like, "Yo, my G, has a license, man. We're so proud of you." They're like, "Man, we're so proud of you." Really, they're just sucking your dick, really. And they probably don't really care, but they'll probably make you happy. Like, "Yeah, we're so proud of you, man. Shit." And so you make it to, McDonald's, and you ain't gonna park the car. No, 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 no. You ain't gonna park the car. You decide to be gangster, and so you take the drive-through like a boss. There's no point fucking parking. Let's face it. You just go straight through the drive-through because it looks sick. And so you drive up to the ordering window and proceed to order 3 Big Macs, 1 for you and 2 for their fat ass friend in the freaking front passenger seat. In the rear seats, you buy a Happy Meal with water for the amateur bodybuilder, a large size French fries snack pack for the Vietnamese cunt sitting in the middle, and a large frozen Coke for your New Zealand friend behind you. And so you drive up to the next window and you collect your food after chatting up the girl who handed like your food for a bit, and you decide to park the car, and all you dig in, and all you are happy as can be, right? Just eating junk food. You're happy, but you're eating junk food, but you're happy. But it's not the point, you see. It's not the point. Eating junk food and talking mass shit in the car. So the question, was it the destination that made you guys happy, or was it the experiences along the way? It's the experience along the way, of course. It was the trip towards the goal that made you happy. And the destination is just the cherry on top. It's just the cream that you put on top of the cake. It's not the cake. The destination is not the cake, you see. The greatest joys in our lives happen when we are fully immersed in what it is that we are doing, and the bigger the goal, the bigger the happiness. When you have a big goal in mind, a goal that will take everything that you have to achieve, it brings with it a huge satisfaction and happiness, because the goal will make you dig into reserves that you thought you've never had. When the risks are high, in that moment you feel alive. You feel like a human being. But when you have small goals or no goals at all, it's complete opposite. When the goal deep down is achievable with minimal effort to modest effort, like to minimal to modest effort, it's not as fulfilling or satisfying. Well, we've all been there. We've all been there. We've done tasks that at the beginning we find fulfilling. At the beginning, because we're just learning, right? We're learning the process. We suck at it right now, but you're learning. You're learning a faster way of doing things. You're learning the correct way of doing things. You make some mistakes here and there, but you learn along the way. You're learning. But after a while, the task becomes really monotonous, and you find it's too easy. You can achieve your goals with minimal effort. Basically, you can sleepwalk. It, and a lot of us sleepwalk through our work year in and year out, and eventually it becomes almost a lifetime of just doing things that doesn't make us grow anymore. And it is a tragedy. It is a tragedy because you don't realize it in the moment. You realize it when you're old. When you're a lot older, and then you realize, fuck, I wasted so much of my life doing something that is so simple, and it didn't push me at all. I didn't have to improve myself. I didn't have to learn anything. I don't have to learn anything new. It sucks because we're humans. We want to grow. We want to improve. We don't want to be stale and live. We think that we want to live a simple life, but in honestly, we don't. I mean, on our deathbed, most of us will probably not regret the things that we did. It's just we regret the things that we didn't do on our deathbeds. That's probably our biggest regrets. So for that reason, why so many of us hate our jobs? It's easy, like I said. I mean, it becomes too automated, too easy. You can do it whilst daydreaming. Those jobs will never make your life truly happy because you are not pushing yourself to the very edge of your capabilities. To truly see what you're made of, so basically your working environment is not conducive enough for you to do that. Therefore, you do it elsewhere through social media, playing video games, materialism, drug use, alcohol abuse, strippers, hookers, you name it. So basically, if the job becomes too easy, you seek it. If your work is very unsatisfying, you seek gratification elsewhere. So you seek it through social media. You post a lot of crap on your social media. You're projecting just the happy side, but you're not projecting the side of when you're struggling. That's the one thing I hate about social media is a lot of us are projecting a happy life, a life of just happiness, and you're not projecting. It's half of the story. You're not projecting the full story. You're not projecting your struggles, your insecurities, your bad days. You're only projecting your good days. So what it does is it creates a cycle of anxiety among your friends as well. I mean, you're doing a disservice to your friends, because if all you're doing is just posting happy snaps, your friends will assume that you're happy and that their life means nothing. How they question it. It's like, why is this person happy but I'm not? Well, my answer to you is they're only sharing half of the story. Don't believe everything you see on social media. They are sharing only half of the story. They're not sharing you their struggles. They're not sharing you their hardships. I mean, if all you see is happiness, and then you do that comparison to your life, it's not a true comparison. It's not a 100% comparison. You're comparing 100% of your life to their 50. It's not fair. Don't do that to yourself. If you see on social media everyone is happy, just know they're sharing half the story. It's not the full story. It's only half. So don't equivalent. Don't think that whatever they put on social media, they're happy. They're all happy and shit. It's not the full story. You don't see the fights. You don't see them, their partners killing each other. You don't see them fighting about laundry. You don't see all that. Obviously, they're not going to share it, because they have a self-image to uphold, So let's move on. I mean, make no mistake, these things will not induce true happiness at all. These vices are just distractions. All these vices, playing video games, materialism, drug use, they're all vices that are distracting you from what you should truly be doing. For these things distract you by taking your attention and time away from your root problems. So all these things are just escapes. They're just escapes. So in that moment, you think that you're happy, but it's just you're putting a blanket over your problems. You put a blanket over your problems, and you don't see your root problems. So that's why you're not happy. That's why when you're done shopping or you're done drinking alcohol, and the next day you're hungover, you buy that stuff and you don't even use it. It's all just covering up your unhappiness. When you finish with your vices, once again you face the distractions and the unhappiness once more. To be honest with yourself, you should ask yourself this simple question: is what you are doing productive? Is it serving you in any way? Is it improving you in any way? Is it serving you? Is it serving your community? Is it serving your family, your friends? Is what you're doing expanding you? Are you growing? That's the question. I mean, is what you're doing expanding your consciousness? My understanding of who I am as a person, as a human being. Are you learning from any? Is what you're doing forcing you to learn anything? Is it expanding your consciousness? Is it have you become aware of things that are going around you, or are you just so brain dead that you're only punching the clock and you're not conscious of anything? It's like you got to ask yourself these questions, these complicated questions that only you can answer yourself. And also, last question: is what I'm doing have any purpose? Any purpose at all? Is it serving any purpose? Is it worth your time? we only have a finite time on this planet, on in this world. Eventually, we will die. We will die, and you gotta ask yourself that question: is like, is there any purpose to what I'm doing? And going back to that question, am I happy? Well, are you? Is what you're doing making you happy at all? Is the process that you're going through, the motions that you're going through every day, is there any happiness in those motions? Are you feeling happy taking one step at a time towards your goals? Are you happy, you know, doing that work that you're doing right now? Are you feeling happy? It's not about are you happy? It's like, are you feeling it? Are you feeling it at all? If you're not feeling it at all, then maybe you should change what it is that you're doing and start doing the things that actually makes you feel happy towards a goal. So basically, you must have goals where, in the process, it also makes you happy. So to end the podcast, my question for you is, do you feel happy? And if not, what are you going to do to change it?